Hello friends, welcome to my channel PC Joe Kimberlite. Today we are going to see an important topic from structural geology, TYBSc as well as SYBSc nowadays. So SY has been revised and this particular topic has been added into SYBSc, and this will be a new syllabus will be there as compared to UGC. So every university has the same syllabus, and this is the syllabus will be there for this year for TYBSc, and might be this year it will be going to change. So ultimately, a new syllabus may come for the TYBSc. So this is a very important one part from the structural geology is there, stress strain diagram. So here, this is the important one. I am Dr. Sajid Undekar, Associate Professor and Head, Department of Geology. Yes, we'll start. First, we'll see what are the differential forces which are been there and they have been acting on the bodies. The first one, simple one in this. So we are going to make out a body which is there, which is pulled up. Here we have a body is there, and that is a pulling apart. So when a body is under tension, yes, body is under tension, it is subjected to stress. Whatever the body is there, that has been stretched, and due to the stretching, what is happening? Whatever the thickness is there, it go on reducing. Lengthening will be increased, and width is going to reduce. So that is there, and ultimately perpendicular that a joint has been taken place, a rupture has been taken place. So that is what we have, the tensile stress. So that is called as a tensile stress. The next one is compression. A body is under compression, the force which is in one direction but towards each other, and due to this, what is happening? Whatever the width is reduced and height is increased, what width is going to reduce, height is increased. So that is going to make out in this. So body is said to be under compression when it is subjected to the external force tend to compress it. The compression may be represented, that is the shown in this particular diagram. Here's the straight line which will be with each other. Arrows represented the forces, which are the arrows are there representing the forces. The rectangle may be omitted and sharing and compressive stress may be exerted from this particular part. Yes, now here we have the couple. There will be a force will be there which is in the opposite direction. You can see on the top, this is a cube, and on the cube, upper side, the whatever the force is there, it is in this direction. The next force is there, it is in the opposite direction. So that is going to form, and the two forces will be acted on that particular object, and due to that, the whatever the changes which are going to take place, and that will be called as a couple. So that is the we called as a couple, and the rectangle which represent the body or a part of a body acted upon may be omitted, and sharing tensile compression stress may be exist in a body subjected to a couple. So that is going to make out. So this is there, and we want to see what type of structure forces are there in the nature, and on the basis of that we can find out how we are going to apply these particular thing when you're going to identify the origin of the various structures. The next one, the tension, couple, and the tension, compression, and couple. These three we have been done. The next one is representative tensile. So here we have the torsion. So whatever the rod is there, that rod on the opposite side here we need to twist. Now due to twisting, tangential, we are going to get the stress is exceeds the plastic limit, it is going to twist out and it will be tangential. Fracture has been taken place, so that will be there. So if you should have seen that, so tension, compression, couple, these three we have been seen in the earlier slide, and to tensile stress, compression stress, or sharing stress. The first three terms however refer to the external forces causing the stress, whereas the last three terms refer as internal forces within the stress of the body. Torsion results from the twisting. If the two ends of the rod are turned in opposite direction, the rod is subjected to the torsion. A plate undergo a torsion, that is been shown here in this torsion, and a diagonal which is going to make out, and they are under the opposite direction we are going to twist rod. The measurement of the stress. This is here we have to be very one and see that how this is going to make out. There is no direct way to measure the internal, very difficult to measure the internal forces within a body, but they may be calculated if the external force is applied. On the basis of that, we can find out the internal forces. If the body is compressed, means we have been applying a pressure from top and bottom, or whether from the side we are going to apply, or stretch, that is a tension we are given. The stress is referred to a perpendicular plane, perpendicular to the direction in which the external forces are acting. Thus, if a vertical square column, say, now this is very important, say how they have been calculated. If a vertical square is there and a column 10 inches on a side support of a load is 5,000 pound. Now 10 inches column is there, vertical column, and on that we have been given a load of 5,000 pound. So every horizontal plane, the column, every horizontal plane within the column is subjected to a compression. Yes, because the pressure is exerted from the top and bottom. So there will be a compression force will be there of how much? 5,000 pounds. So this is the way we have been calculated. Each square inch of these horizontal planes supports a load of 50. So if you make out inch wise, then the inch wise, how much is 10? So 5,000 divided by the 10 into 10, that is the 100. So ultimately we get the 50 pounds. The compression stress should be 50 pounds per square inch. If a vertical rod with a cross section area is 10 square inch carries a load of 5,000 pound at the end, lower end, every horizontal plane in this rod subjected to a pull of 500 is 5,000 divided by 10, so 500 pound square inch. The tensile stress is said to be 500 pound per square inch if the tensile stress is there, that is the we have been taking the pulling the body away from each other. What is the strain? Whatever the pressure we have been exerted, due to that, whatever the changes have been going to observe within that body, then that is called a strain. What is the strain definition? Strain is a deformation caused by stress. This is simple 4 words. Strain is the deformation caused by stress. Strain may be dilation, which may be change in volume. Dilation means change in the volume, or distortion. It may be size may be reduced, or there will be a distortion, that is broken down, which may be a change in the form, or both. When there is a change in the confining pressure, if there is a change in the confining pressure, a body will be changed in volume. A pressure will be changed, automatically the volume will also change, but not shape. With increasing confined pressure, you can see now, with increasing confining pressure, the volume of the body is decreases. The volume of the body is decreases, and dilation will be called as negative. When the volume is decreases, then it is the dilation is called as negative. These are the important terms. Remember now, with increasing confining pressure, with the decreasing confining pressure, the volume of the body increases. It is called as dilation is positive. Granite, we are taken as an example because granite is a very strong rock as compared to what we have the gabbro and diabase. Is highly compressibly than the uh, gabbro and diabase. There is a unit increases in confining pressure. If the granite undergo greater decrease in volume due to volume than do gabbro and diabase. Under a low confining pressure, a unit increases in confining pressure causes a greater decrease in volume than the higher confining pressure. You can see now. Under the low confining pressure, a unit increases in confining pressure causes a greater decrease in the volume than undergoing under higher confining pressure. Under directed pressure, under directed forces, distortion occur. Directed pressure means one side. For example, a steel rod 10 inches along a cross section, 1 square inch is subjected to tension. A pull of 20,000 pounds stretches the rod to 0.007 inch, or the stress is 20,000 pound per square inch, and the strain is 0.007 inch per, that is the per inch that will be there of this stress. If a body is subjected to directed pressure, if a body is subjected to, usually passes through three stages of deformation. These are the three very, very important one. Deformations are there, and this will be a long question. Define the deformation, give the three types of deformation, and describe the stress strain diagram with reference to confining pressure, temperature. These are the normally which will be asked by the examiners. So you have to be prepared. At the first, deformation is elastic. What is the first simple what we have? The deformation is elastic. For example, if it have a rubber band, stretch the rubber band, whatever the pressure you have applied, and as soon as you release, the whatever the rubber band is there, it comes to its normal position. There we'll find out whatever the we are going to see the changes. As you apply the pressure, you will find out the thinning is taking place, and whatever the length is there, it is increased. But as soon as you release the pressure, the whatever the rubber band is there, it comes to its original size and shape. So here we have this particular limit is called as the elastic limit. So the body will be there under this phase, that will be the elastic limit. That is called as the elastic limit. Return to its original position. Below the elastic limit, yes, below the elastic limit, the deformation obeys Hooke's law. Below the elastic limit, the deformation obeys the Hooke's law, which states that strain is proportional to stress. Whatever you apply the pressure, proportionally there will be a deformation. So that is the Hooke's law. Remember, this might be asked in the examination for 1 mark. If the stress exceeds the elastic limit, the next one, if the stress is exceeds the elastic limit, then there is a deformation, and that is a permanent deformation. Say example, plastic is there. You stretch the plastic, we will find out that there is a stretching, and once you release, it will not come to its original position. That is the whatever the deformation has taken place, it has been permanent. So then we call that this is the plastic limit, that it has exceeds the elastic limit, and the deformation has been taken place within the plastic once you've taken out the stress. For example, steel rod is there, you go on applying the stress, then it is stretching has taken place, thinning has taken place, and that is a permanent one, that will be there. So the thinner, where it is gets a thinner, or it is called as a neck. When you go on stretching in the center, it is become thinner. That will be there. That is the neck point will be going to make out. So when there is a continued increase in the stress, one more fracture develop. Now after the still release, it is a deformation is there. That is whatever the changes are there, they are permanent. But still you stretch it out, perpendicular, it is a rupture has taken place. So that is the third one. So elastic, plastic, and rupture, these are the three types of stages of deformations are there. Then there is another definitions are there, that is a brittle substance. What are the defined brittle substance? Are those who have small internal, yes, interval between elastic limit and rupture. So as soon as elastic limit is over, there will be a rupture. So immediately break out. Brittle means elastic limit is very less, and it is immediately break out. So these are the brittle one. In other words, stresses somewhat greater than its elastic limit will cause a rupture. Next one, ductile. So stress you apply, that body will be going to show you the changes. So it will be remain within the elastic and plastic limit. So it will not before the rupture, there will be a long interval of time is there between the elastic, plastic, and then ultimately the rupture will be taking place. So after the elastic limit has been exceeded, the ductile substance undergo a long interval of plastic deformation, and sometime it will never rupture. That also be happen in the future, but that will be there. So that is the ductile and the brittle rocks. Definition will be asked in the examination. And in engineering practice, the relation exists between stress and strain is commonly expressed by a graph known as stress strain graph. That is the 100%. It will be asked in the examination for 4 marks, because nowadays long question has been gone 10 marks. So it will be there for 4 marks. So here we prepare. This is a very important one. Those who want to become a career or they in a structural geology, so or to want to become a geologist, they should have the basic of this particular stress strain diagram. The stress is commonly plotted on an ordinate vertical axis, whereas strain will be there on the horizontal abscissa. That will be percentage 2, 3, 4. Shortening will be given. A curve A in a 7A graph, material under the tension, and the tensile stress is shown pounds per square inch. That we will see in the next slide. That is a graph where the tension is there. With increasing stress, the specimen become longer and the strain plotted in terms of percentage lengthening of the specimen. Stress of 10,000 pounds per square inch. The specimen has lengthened only a fraction of 1%, 2% as 20,000, and lengthening will be 0.07%. So that will be there. So that will be there. When the stress is 30,000, the specimen has lengthened as 1% of its original length. See how it is going to change out. The lengthening increases in the tensile stress is increased, and just before the rupture occurs, the specimen is 4.5% longer than it was originally it is present. The point at the curve departs from a straight line is known as proportional elastic limit. It is usually essential, the same as the elastic limit. Proportional elastic limit is 30,000 lbs, where the up to straight line, and from there the divergence has been taken place. We'll be seeing in this diagram, say up to 30,000. You can see now up to 30,000. There is a there. So you can make out 10,000. How much is the very less? You can see 20,000. It is increased. 30,000. Still it is go on increasing, and now from here it is go on dilation. So that is there. So the shortening will be there, but once it is going up, you can see now how much it is taken place, 4 point something. That has been short will be there. The lengthening will be there on that particular. Now I can see the data are more complete for some than or for the others, such as a table is merely indicate magnitude of the value. So here you can get the magnitude. So A will be the ductile substance, B is the brittle. You can see brittle is immediately cut down. So around 9,000 something and 18,000 something it will be, or more or less 20,000, not 20,000. Somewhere 19,000 it has gone down, but you can see shortening is only the half percent. But still you can see now the what we have is the ductile, it is gone completely. After 30,000 it is go into the plastic one. The true value are in separate column as compression, tensile, and shearing strength. Some granite, for example, can stand a compressive strength of 1000 kg per centimeter square before the rupturing, or other granites can stand a compressive stress of 2800 kilo per centimeter square. The intentions of the granite rupture, if occur, exceeds the 30 to 50%. 50 kg per centimeter. In other words, granite 33 times stronger than the compression than it is under the tensile. So that we are going to make out over in that figure. Under the shearing stress, granite has a strong 150 to 300 kilo. Under the compression, basalt is the strongest of all kinds of the table. That is the table chart is there. I have not shown purposely. So why we want to make out that? So granite, and if I make out the basalt. So under the compression, basalt is the strongest one. Ductile material shown in the curve 7. A stress at that time of rupture may be considerably less than the maximum stress which is supported. See, the maximum support is ultimate strength. You can see it has come down. The ultimate strength, this is the one important definition. Ultimate strength. Ultimate strength is the highest stress on the stress strain diagram. Yes, it is the highest strength on the stress strain diagram. Yes, now the first factor controlling behavior of material, the confining pressure. That is the first one, very important one. The engineer primarily interested in physical properties of the material under the atmospheric pressure. First, they will see under atmospheric pressure, then surface temperature, and consequently, most available experiment data are distinctly limited in their applications to geology. Factors that are important to the structural geologists are confining pressure, temperature, time, and solution. These are the four important things are there which will be we are going to look the factor controlling behavior, that is confining pressure, temperature, time, and solution. And this is the experiment which is done by the Greek. Yes, this is an important diagram where you can concentrate now the behavior of Solnhofen limestone. Yeah, this is the limestone from that area under the confining stress that has been confining pressure has been given. The compressive stress in pounds per square inch is given on the ordinate. This is there on y-axis, and shortening is there in the percentage that has been given on the x-axis. Say from 0 to 4, 6, 8, like this is given, and on this side it is given about I think 25, 50, like that, 25, 50, 75, 1 lakh, 1 lakh 25, 1 lakh 50,000. This is the way the pressure has been given on the vertical axis. Atmospheric pressure is 14.7 pounds per square inch. Separate curve are given for the behavior of such these things. Now here we have, say now, 6 separate sets of experiment has run. One has done 1 has done 2000, second 4000, 6000, 8000, and 10,000. So you can see here, 1 is a very short, then 2000, 4000, 6000, 8000, and 10,000. So these are the what we have, the confining pressures there at atmospheric conditions. And what is the atmosphere? Approximately 14.7 pounds per square inch. Separates the curve which will be there in the confining pressure. Below compressive stress of 55,000 pound per square inch, the curve is similar to that any appear one line of graph. That is the straight graph is going to make out of that particular part. Yes, straight line. Yes, 55,000 will be here. So this straight line up to 55, this will be a straight line. And after that, we'll find the changes have been taken place. When confining pressure is 4,000, when confining pressure is 4,000, this is the part where we have 4,000 atmosphere less, the limestone behave as a brittle one. The limestone will behave as a brittle. When confining pressure is 6,000, so this is 6,000. What is happening? There will be a ductile plastic deformation. You can see plastic deformation, and you can see how much it has been shown. The deformation around somewhere around 11% deformation is there. In case of 10,000, atmosphere was shortened. 10,000, you can see how much it is there. 24, more than 22% will be there, and whatever the stress is there around 1 lakh 35,000, that is the highest one which will be here will be there. So this is the part will be there from that particular from this graph we have to study. All are the same material. Limestone is there. Solnhofen limestone has been considered. Such experiments indicate that rock exhibiting a very little plastic deformation under near the surface. You can see near the surface it shows very less deformation. So plastic limit is very less in the atmospheric condition. Increase in confining pressure increases the ultimate strength. So once you're going to go on increasing the confining pressure, ultimate strength is also going to increase. Whereas the ultimate strength of Solnhofen is confining a pressure of an 37,000 per square inch. So that is there. So here it will be somewhere here it will be there, 37,000. Proportional elastic limit is 50%, which is going to make out. So that is there. The next one is the temperature. Here we don't have any uh, uh, diagram is there in the next one. So changes in the temperature, whether you can going to make out in the hot, cold, or atmospheric temperature, then what will be the rock is going to behave. So that will be we are going to see the observation. Changes in temperature modify the behavior 100%. That will be there. If you change the temperature, the whatever the behavior of the material is there, it is going to change. For hot steel, it is example undergo a plastic deformation. When you go heated, then ultimately temperature is going on increasing. The whatever the steel rod is there, it is become the plastic. Whatever the shape you want, you can give the shape very easily. That is the few data are available concerning the mechanical effect of the temperature on rocks, but high temperature could increase in the field of plastic deformation. The plastic deformation is far less common near the surface because temperature is not that much high on the surface, but the confining pressure and temperature will be low. As a greater depth, as compared to the greater depth, they are a very high pressure temperature. So there we'll find there will be the changes are going to make out. So here we have the uh, what we have about the time now. Time factor is there on this side. Cycle which curve which is making out. Fatigue and creep crevices can be applied to a few times out of the causing failure. How it will be failure. The subject can be subjected to particularly regarding as a metal we are taken. So here from here it is going into the plastic deformation which we are going to make out. So temperature pressure conditions are very high. You can make out once that temperature is given, it is going into the plastic limit and there will be strengthening will be more and the time given more then more will be there. So that is given with the help of the graph which has been mentioned in that particular part. So that thing is again and again they have been mentioned about this one time part. Yes, you can make out as the time is given, shortening will be more, temperature no need to increase. So that will be the simple statement is given. And with this, I have been completed the part that is stress trend diagram and factor controlling the deformation. So I hope you enjoy this video. If you like this one, press the button like and share the video with your groups and subscribe my channel and write down the comments. Thank you. Have a nice day.